The night Zhao Lusi reclaimed her light. A story of resilience and redemption. Have you ever witnessed a moment so raw, so vulnerable, that it felt like the entire world paused to listen? That's exactly what happened on November 8, 2025 in Chengdu, China, when Zhao Lusi, known to millions as Rosie Zhao, stepped onto the stage for her Miss You birthday concert. But this wasn't just another glamorous night under the spotlight. This was a moment of truth. A night when a young woman who had been silenced and bruised by betrayal decided to speak her truth through song. The lights dimmed. The crowd held their breath. And there she was, smiling softly, eyes shimmering under the stage lights. But this time something was different. This wasn't the carefree sweetheart image fans had known. This was a woman reborn, standing tall after months of pain and confusion. At Celeb Buzz Insider, we've always been drawn to stories that go beyond the glitz of celebrity life. Because fame can sparkle, but it can also scar. And Zhao Lusi's story, of heartbreak, courage, and redemption, reminds us that even the brightest stars sometimes have to lose their light to learn how to shine again. Tonight we invite you to feel this story, not just hear it. Because Zhao Lusi's journey isn't just about her. It's about anyone who's ever been broken and had to rebuild themselves from the ashes. I remember the first time I saw Zhao Lusi on screen. There was something magnetic about her. Her warmth, her natural smile, the way she made every character feel real. She wasn't trying to be perfect. She was just herself. And that's what made people fall in love with her. But behind the glittering career, behind those viral smiles, was a story no one saw coming. In August 2025, Zhao Lusi stunned the world when she publicly accused her former management company, KU Media, of withholding over $367,000 in earnings. Fans were shocked, but what she revealed next was far worse. In a series of emotional posts, Zhao shared how she'd been gaslighted, pressured to work despite illness, and even confined in a hotel room under the guise of spiritual treatment. No doctor. No rest. Just isolation. She described nights of panic attacks, of crying in silence, of questioning her own worth in an industry that often values profit over people. As someone who's covered countless celebrity stories here on Celeb Buzz Insider, I can tell you, this one hit different. Because Zhao's voice wasn't bitter. It was brave. You could feel the pain behind her words, but you could also feel the strength it took to say them out loud. The entertainment industry can be dazzling, but behind every perfect photo, there's often a storm you can't see. And for Zhao, the storm had nearly swallowed her whole. But she didn't let it. In October 2025, just 2 months later, Zhao Lusi made a bold move. She signed with Orca Entertainment, signaling a fresh start and a reclaimed sense of power. It wasn't just a business deal. It was a declaration of independence, her way of saying, I am not a victim. I am the author of my own story. Still, the real test was yet to come. Because no matter how strong you are, there's always that one moment when you have to face the world again. And prove that you're not just surviving but thriving. That moment came on the night of her concert. When Zhao Lusi stepped onto the stage that night in Chengdu, the crowd erupted. Thousands of fans held glowing signs that read, "We believe in you, Rosie." But Zhao didn't start with a smile. She took a deep breath, and for a brief second she closed her eyes. Then she began to sing. Each lyric felt like a page torn from her diary, raw, trembling, and real. You could hear her voice quiver on certain lines, not from weakness but from emotion. And as the camera zoomed in, you could see the tears forming in her eyes. It was as if she was pouring every scar, every sleepless night, every ounce of pain into the music. And the audience, thousands of people who had followed her through joy and controversy, cried with her. Halfway through the show she paused. Her voice cracked as she said, "For a long time I forgot who I was. But tonight, standing here, I remember." Then with a soft smile she announced the formation of her own studio under Orca Entertainment, signaling a new era. An era where she would finally take control of her art, her choices, her life. At that moment something incredible happened. Fans started chanting her name louder and louder, until the entire stadium shook. It wasn't just applause, it was healing. And in that sea of voices, Zhao Lusi wasn't just a celebrity anymore. She was a survivor, standing tall for everyone who's ever been silenced, dismissed, or underestimated. When I watched that moment replay online later, I couldn't help but feel something shift inside me. Because what Zhao Lusi showed that night wasn't perfection. It was resilience in its purest form. It takes courage to confront your pain publicly. It takes strength to smile again when your name has been dragged through the mud. And it takes a rare kind of grace to forgive, not others but yourself, for believing you weren't enough. Zhao Lusi's story isn't just about fame or scandal. It's about finding light after darkness, about remembering that your worth isn't defined by contracts, headlines, or other people's opinions. At Celeb Buzz Insider, we believe that the most powerful stories are the ones that remind us of our shared humanity. And Zhao's journey is a mirror for all of us. How many times have we stayed silent when we should have spoken up? How many times have we dimmed our own light just to make others comfortable? Zhao Lusi's story tells us this. You are allowed to fall apart. You are allowed to be scared. But most importantly, you are allowed to rise again stronger than ever. So as the lights faded that night and the final note of her concert echoed through Chengdu, Zhao Lusi bowed her head, not in defeat but in gratitude. The crowd roared. Fans held hands, some crying, some smiling through tears. It was more than a concert. It was a homecoming. A reminder that even when life tries to break you, you can always rebuild. Even when they try to silence you, your truth can still find its way to the world. Zhao Lusi didn't just reclaim her career that night. She reclaimed her light. And in doing so, she gave us all permission to find ours. Here at Celeb Buzz Insider, we don't just cover celebrity news. We uncover the human stories that live beneath the fame. The heartbreak, the hope, the moments that make us feel deeply connected to the stars we admire. If Zhao's story moved you, if it reminded you of your own battles or gave you strength to keep going, share it. Let's spread the message of resilience and redemption. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who shines the brightest. It's about who dares to shine again, after losing everything. And Zhao Lusi? She dared. And she won. If you felt something from this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Celeb Buzz Insider, where we don't just report celebrity moments, we tell the human stories behind them. As here, every star has a story worth feeling. Crescent Moon.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that